All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go through my ICT journal real quick and the one trade that I took today. So, if we start on the daily, we're still looking at this weekly buy side liquidity. And then we also have some buy side liquidity up here from 2 Fridays ago. Um, so, I'm still bullish on this. You can see how we responded out of this daily volume imbalance that I marked yesterday, and we entered it twice, and then we shifted up, and we showed pretty much no respect to this bearish volume imbalance here on the daily. So if we go down to the 1 hour on MES, we're going to see, looking here, we have, okay, so that was Monday. Here's Tuesday. So today, mark out the London lows. It's from 2 to 5 New York time. So there's London lows, London low. Also mark up here we had Friday's high. So we can see we entered this volume imbalance, daily volume imbalance on the 1 hour. We came up, we essentially used this bearish or BISI as the bearish fair value gap. We used it as a inversion fair value gap. And then we shifted up and we took out liquidity here. And we entered further into this 1 hour fair value gap right here, entered right there. And we could potentially anticipate that because even though we had entered this fair value gap earlier, Thursday during London session, we didn't reach the midpoint of that, the consequent encroachment. So when price came down to this daily volume imbalance, came up, came back down, touched this inversion fair value gap, went up, took out this buy side liquidity here, which is London highs from Thursday, and entered consequent encroachment, respected that fair value gap very well on the hourly, came back down, took yesterday's AM session liquidity, and took that yesterday morning. Okay. And then from here, we shifted up, entered into a small fair value gap here on the 1 hour after shifting up here, shift, entered in here, ran up rest of the day yesterday and today to take out yesterday's lunch high. So we're going to go down to the 15-minute, but I still remain bullish on this, looking now to see how we respond around this Friday lunch high. We may come back into this hourly fair value gap here a little bit further. I'd anticipate us to respect these down close candles here because this is a hourly order block, and right there, mark that. And what I would want to see is maybe we'll come down into this tomorrow and maybe this evening. And then if we expand above this high, we're probably going to go take out these relative equal highs and the buy side liquidity I was speaking about yesterday. So let's drop down into the 15-minute here. And we can see today we formed the London low, came up, took this liquidity here, came back down, entered into this 15-minute order block. Moved back up. There's a little shift there, but price came down and took this in the PM session. It's just sell side. Took the sell side liquidity in PM session before shifting up again and taking Friday's lunch high. So let's drop down to the 5-minute. And what can we see here? We see that we had this entry into, my apologies. Here we go. We dug further into this 5-minute fair value gap. Mark that. Kind of stuck with this bullish trend here, shifted up, came back down, to enter into this fair value gap, and eventually took the London session highs from this morning. And then here's the Judas swing at the New York Open. You could take a shift down here. Here's a fair value gap to enter into that 15-minute order block. And then we shifted up out of that. It's not an entry here because that's not a shift yet. But you get a shift here. You put a stop below here. And let's mark this. We could do a short here. Enter, probably just target that, dig a little further into the order block. If we're really going to do that, I would probably mark consequent encroachment of the order block right there. If you can see, it respects it pretty well. You take the short down there, and then we could also take a 5-minute entry, long entry after going there, shifting up right here into this small imbalance. We'll see it better on the 1 minute. And we could take out that high and potentially hold all the way up to London session highs from yesterday. During the lunch hour, form a low here after 13:30. We take that liquidity out as well as some morning session liquidity, shift up again, get an entry here, but that's not really low risk, and then we just accelerate through the end of the day to take out that liquidity. So if we look at the 1 minute, here's your 1 minute fair value gap on the Judas swing down. And this is the trade I took. This is right in here. You can look for an entry between 950 and 1010. That is the silver bullet. Enter that and try to take out this low right here. What I did was I set some for 5 points, set some for this low, and then I tried to get this, but it was ended up getting stopped out. So all around, it was a good trade. And that's really what I have for the 1 minute. I like to look at from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. New York Open to 1600. So now if we go to MNQ, we're going to see pretty similar price action to MES. The indices were pretty in line today. No respect to this daily volume imbalance. On the 1 hour, came down. We took out Thursday's AM session lows. Took those out yesterday. Shifted up. Didn't respect that though. Came down, took this liquidity one more time. That's the London session lows from yesterday before moving up. And MNQ had a lot more choppy price action. Oh, my apologies. So if we look at the 15-minute here, we took out the PM session lows today. Market open with that Judas swing, came down, took out PM session lows from yesterday, entered into this 15-minute fair value. You can see the bodies of the candles, so respecting that perfectly before moving up. There's no real entry here. It's not really a shift, for me at least. Here's a better shift, but there's no entry in this fair value gap, and went up to enter this 15-minute fair value gap here that we marked out yesterday. Let's go down to the 5-minute on MNQ. See here, same thing that MES had. Right here at the open. Here at the open, MES got the entry there, but MNQ did not. So look at these candles high right here at 935. So this is SMT divergence because MES made a higher high. MNQ did not. So that's divergence. That indicates that MNQ is going to be stronger to the downside, which it was. And we'll see a better entry on the 1 minute that I took. But if we look at the 1 minute after this, okay, well, I'm sorry. So after the 5 minute, we enter into this 15-minute fair value gap here after taking yesterday's PM lows. Shift up, we get an entry here into this fair value gap. Small little imbalance there. You can see the wicks touch into it, bodies respect it, shift up again. You could take an entry here, but it's kind of risky after taking out the morning highs. And you see you'd get stopped out before. This entry in here would have been during lunch, so I don't trade during lunch. This is why, because it's going to go and take out liquidity most days before making the actual move. So you could wait until after lunch. Maybe you take this morning trade down. You take this entry here for high of day, and then you could wait out lunch, wait to see what happens after 13:30 to take out this sell side right here, shift up, entry in here on these down close candles to go up and hit this 15-minute fair value gap. Look on the 1 minute, we'll find a better entry going down. I'll show you the entry I took this morning. So at 9:30, we had SMT on MMQ, MES. Both of those shifted down along with YM. This is the Dow index. Let me go to right here. See 9:30, shift down. Those are moving down. We also had DXY moving up at 9:30. So that's kind of, to me, that is just the ideal trade right here. So we had DXY going against the other three indices, right? Moving up, shifting up, while YM and MNQ and MAS were all moving down, right? They were all shifting down. And the most important part to that is we had SMT on MNQ and MES, and other portion of that is that MES, a lot of price action to go through. MES had dug into that 15-minute fair value gap again, just like it did yesterday before moving down in the morning, right? So it dug into this fair value gap and took out this morning's London highs, shifted down SMT with MNQ and MES. And I took both trades to the downside, and that was it. I didn't take the afternoon trade going up, but there are some entries in here. You can see a 1 minute entry here after taking our PM session lows on MNQ, shifting up, entry in here. You could take out morning highs after lunch, take out some AM session and the lunch side liquidity, shift up. Here's a small entry in here. Right there, get another entry in here if you'd like. You could just pyramid this position multiple times. You could add again in here. And you can take that all the way up to this 15-minute fair value gap that MES had hit in the morning and MNQ did not. So to show you guys, I took this morning trade. Here's MES at, here we go, silver bullet time, right around between 6:50 and 7:10. Entered 6 at 44.51 into this 1 minute fair value gap, took 2 off at 5 points profit, another 2 off here, and I set my stop right above this up close candle, and it stopped me out. On MNQ, I entered on the second shift down. I didn't take this first entry, but instead I entered in here with a stop above that swing high, and I just targeted 25 points quick all out for a total of, it's not going to show it here, but I'm nearing the profit target of $1,500. I mean, I believe $268 profit on this trade. So that's really it. I hope this was helpful, and thank you guys.